and one of these teams will climb that final step in the next 15 minutes or so. All signs point to Oklahoma. They've got to lead by .3375. That's not insurmountable, Allie, but what does UCLA have to do?
Well, UCLA has to copy and paste their beam rotation from the semifinals. They had the highest score out of any team, and they averaged a 9.91.
Well, if Oklahoma wants to take the title, they just need to do their average, which is still pretty good, but they're the #1 ranked team on that event, and it's their strongest event. So they're wanting to stick those landings and lock in those handstands.
Utah still over half a point behind the leader. They might need some help from Oklahoma. Missouri, they're almost a point back. Doesn't look like the magic is going to continue for the Tigers here, but nonetheless, a top 4 finish for that team. Certainly something significant for that program. Best ever in their history.
If you're looking closely, Audrey Davis from Oklahoma was the one hyping that team up on bars. She is so good at getting them going.
Jaylene Gilstrap will start things off for Utah here on vault. They just need to hit some vaults, stick some landings, and hope you get an opportunity. Right here, you got to go for broke, right, guys?
You got to go for the stuck landings. Difficult to do because you don't want to try too hard. They need to let it fall to that position. Clean in the air, but they got to dial in those landings.
Danny Sievers will lead things off here on bars. I'll tell you what you don't want to do if you're UCLA. Count on Audrey Davis and Jordan Bowers to make a mistake on bars. They've never missed a bar routine in their entire collegiate careers.
And Danny Sievers starting off with that first handstand at the top of the bar, held it, took so much wrist strength to be able to do that. Coaches say that for Danny, it's critical that she sticks this dismount to start this team off.
Her teammate Jordan Bowers said that this athlete right here is the momentum starter, and when she hits, it just fires the rest of the lineup up. They're on a roll, and it's only the first athlete.
Watch the knees and toes together the entire time. Head down, watches right in front of her to stick that landing. Coaches on Oklahoma tell their athletes the stick is part of the routine. Don't react and wait for it to happen. Make it happen.
Jaylene Gilstrap on vault, a 9.775. Missouri moves over to their best event, the floor exercise. The national title does not look like a possibility tonight, but that doesn't matter. They are on the last day on their best event. Expect a show here. Here's Raina Light. Emily Lee will be the leadoff gymnast for UCLA. She is a senior veteran in a big spot.
And Emily Lee, I'm glad to see she did that front aerial into the split jump. She struggled with that in the semifinals and did not get a 10-0 start value. So excellent correction for Emily. That's going to be huge for this team.
She had a bit of a wait before this routine.
Quick adjustment with that front foot. Not a huge deduction, but again, UCLA needs to be nearly perfect if they want a chance at the title.
Yeah, if you're at home, watch these first athletes for Oklahoma and UCLA as you go through the score tower on the right hand of your screen. Danny Sievers just to put up a 9.875. How does Emily Lee in the first position compare to that score? Remember, they're trying to make up .3375.
Well, I'll tell you what she's got to do. Stick the landing.
And what's extra impressive about that is Emily Lee had to wait. There was a judging conference because of the rotation prior. And when you are nervous and you're up there waiting, it is so hard to not overthink and have doubt creep in. That was huge. You talk about the momentum from Danny Sievers on bars. Well, Emily Lee getting that momentum started for UCLA.
Raina Light finishing up that floor rotation. Grace McCallum, her final collegiate performance. Here she is on vault.
During the semifinals, she stuck it for the very first time. Almost went 2 for 2.
Going for it.
And unfortunately, that step backwards is an additional 1/10 deduction because it's under-rotated.
Lily Peterson, freshman now in the 2 spot for Oklahoma. Their normal on the bar rotation right here is absolutely going to be good enough for another title.
And Lily taking her time in between each skill. So much easier said than done. They know if they hit this bar routine, they could be national champions.
She was one of the two 9-9 plus scores from the semifinals, but that step on the dismount, that's going to be a deduction. So that's going to be the lowest score for OU on bars so far.
Look at that score from Emily Lee. Are you kidding me? In the leadoff spot, a 9.925 advantage in the first athlete, UCLA.
And just to give you an idea, last year when LSU won, Sierra Ballard led with a 9.95. So that's a great sign. Very close to that score.
But guys, they're still crawling out of that hole a little bit. So they're not in the clear. It's going to take all of these athletes to put up big numbers if they want to win the title. And this athlete right here, beat jump into an Anodi, is a new change. Oh, big wobble from Caitlin Rosen.
And I just saw Caitlin take her time in that choreography to take a deep breath, to resettle herself, remember her cues. Coaches tell them, find your arms, find your center, and your finish. Exactly like that.
Keep in mind, UCLA, they count 5 scores. They're not going to want to count this Rosen score. But among those 5 scores, they're trying to make up less than a tenth per counting score. They certainly did that in that first routine. Now they've got 4 routines left to make up for the rest.
They never want to do things the easy way, it seems. So it just puts so much pressure on the rest of the lineup. Big names in that lineup, so they can handle it. But OU is looking strong on bars.
Use those toes to grip that mat for the stuck landing. Way to come back, Caitlin.
She goes for an Anodi, which I think is one of the most difficult skills. And when she stands up, loses her balance. Needed to squeeze her core a little bit tighter.
Avery Neff on vault for Utah comes up next. Grace McCallum, a 9.825. Raina Light on floor exercise from Missouri, 9.7625. They've got some performers coming up in that rotation yet.
Avery Neff is just a natural talent, and coaches say she's as competitive as they come. So I'm expecting a big vault from her right here. Another 1.5 in their lineup. She just drills the landing.
Where do you take off?
I can't wait to see this athlete continue to compete at Utah. She is a phenom.
She is a headliner for sure. Addison Theta follows a 9.8 from Peterson. That 9.8 for Oklahoma, that is a low score, one that they do not typically count.
Addison went big for that pack salto, got a little bit too much air, had some trouble controlling that swing, but covered it up like a pro. Going to do a double layout dismount. Same dismount we saw from Lily Peterson. Just the smallest shuffle of feet.
She's doing a release move, and the judges take a deduction if she catches too close. You see that arm bend. They can take up to 3 tenths for being 90-degree bend on that catch.
Okay, so Jordan Childs is up. And guys, this is not over by a long shot. The UCLA Bruins, the rest of the way, they can go 9.95 or better, every athlete. Addison Theta had some deductions on there. Oklahoma is going to count a score in the 9/8, maybe more than one. This meet is not over.
Just placing that series down. And I think Jordan Childs, obviously we know she can put up big scores, but I think her biggest asset in this moment is the fact that she doesn't take gymnastics too seriously. And in these critical, high-pressure situations, that attitude permeates through the rest of the team.
And competing at 2 Olympic Games has given her immense amount of experience to be able to handle pressure situations like this.
Just a few more skills. Strong side aerial. Now coming up, she changed this dismount, so it's new. Finally decided on a round-off double full. It is critical that she sticks the landing. She didn't stick the landing in the touch, but guess what? She did it when it counted.
What stands out to me for Jordan Childs on this event is her knees are just so extended the entire time. Watch her knees right here, and boom, sticks the landing.
And you know what I noticed is that she was so crooked on the round off, and like a cat just places it on the mat and doesn't move those feet.
So if you're keeping track, yes, Caitlin Rosen has a 9.725. Forget about that score, because they've got 3 athletes. They have got to hit the last 3 athletes. That Child score is going to be a 9.9 plus, maybe a 9.95. Addison Feta, a 9.8375. They've got 3 scores in the 9.8s, does Oklahoma. This is interesting. Ashley Glenn here on vault for Utah.
Short on the landing, under-rotated squat. They're going for those sticks, and I can't blame them. If I'm in Utah shoes, I am going for those stuck landings no matter what.
Sam, the irony, though, is when you forget to do the round-off back handspring onto the table, technically correct, it makes you often land short.
Yeah, there's a lot of nerves here, Allie. You're looking at these athletes. They're managing nerves, the crowd, the pressure. We have to remember that these athletes have been training this whole season for this one moment right here.
Faith Torres coming off the best season of her collegiate career. What a big moment right now. Gotta go 9.9 if you're Oklahoma.
And pay attention to the height right here.
Shea Campbell over unbalancing. Jordan Childs a 9.9375.
What is impressive about Faith is she is not holding back. She is going big for everything.
But the slide on the landing.
These next 3 athletes for UCLA on beam right now had the top 10 highest scores for the semifinals. Just could be about 0.3 of a point for that.
Yep. Hiked her hips on that series and threw her off a little bit.
And that series is so difficult because you have to keep that layout position.
Another wobble from Shea Campbell, and she was actually one of the athletes that started that 9.9 plus run for UCLA in the semifinals you were talking about, Allie.
Oftentimes when you're nervous, gymnasts tend to rush on the beam. I'm noticing Shea is taking her time. Seems she's going slower right now, trying to gain her rhythm.
Good finish for Shea Campbell.
Shea Campbell finishing her collegiate career right there. Said she came back for this 5th season to rebuild the legacy of UCLA. And I'll tell you what, whether or not they win the title today, UCLA looks like they are certainly back. Amari Celestine on floor exercise, finishing her career. What a fun one it's been.
She brings so much energy and aggressiveness. Her brother Arteon has collaborated with her to choreograph her routines since she's been little. So this is special for so many reasons.
McKenna Smith follows Ashley Glenn's 9.7. The dream has slipped away for Utah, unfortunately.
Good finish for McKenna with that vault. Opens her hips nicely, and I like seeing those unique vaults from Utah. What a celebration of an amazing routine, an amazing career. She has so many family members here to celebrate her. She told me yesterday that she had a surprise coming, and it was her brother Arteon right there, who has been so integral to her gymnastics career in that floor routine.
Gonna miss her gymnastics, but guys, I think what the gymnastics world is gonna miss most is her personality. It's just so much fun. Never a bad interview with Amari Celestine. So UCLA now down to their last 2 athletes. Sienna Alipio, the 5th gymnast to go. You can see that lightly shaded score from Shea Campbell, 9.6875. That's the one they're currently dropping, but they're going to have to count that 9.725. Here's Audrey Davis. she can clinch this championship with a 9-9 or better, has only scored below a 9-9 3 times all season.
And John, she has gotten a 9-9, 7-5, 16 times in her career. If you ask me, this athlete is so deserving of a 10.
Audrey is just money on this event. If you want any two athletes to anchor this championship, it's Audrey Bowers, Audrey Davis, and Jordan Bowers.
Audrey Davis, exceptional bar routine, exceptional gymnast.
Is it going to be enough? She had a little hitch on that landing. We've seen the judges take a half attempt on her with a perfect landing. She did not get the 9-9 in the semis. It's going to be real close as Olivia finishes beam.
Man, step on the dismount from UCLA. I think that means OU is going to get the title.
Watch the flexibility required in the height that pulled in a bit, as Sam was mentioning a couple of moments ago. Elbows were bent as she caught the bar. Judges want to see completely straight. Then watch the landing. Just hesitated a little bit. Judges could take a half a tenth for the shuffle and then another half a tenth or tenth for the gaining her balance.
The arm circle is also a deduction. So it's really, and we talk about a subjective sport, up to the judges on how much they want to take for those little mistakes we see.
Finishing the competition today for Utah, Zoe Johnson.
Oh, man. She has been nailing those balls. They look so good and just completely missed her hands. It seems like she's okay, though. Very safe landing in comparison to what we could have seen.
Thankfully, Zoe is okay. Looked like her hand slipped on the vault.
Well, unfortunately, that finish for Utah, not indicative, though, of the season that they have had. I think a lot of people really thought this was going to be their year, that they get back to the top. What happened here, guys?
Watch her hand right here. Just didn't get enough height on the table to have enough time to plant her arms, and so glad to see that Zoe was able to get up right away. That's really scary in the moment when you honestly sometimes don't have any idea where you are.
Wow, that was scary. Waiting for that Audrey Davis score. Jordan Bowers up next, finishing her collegiate career.
Whew, guys, I'm nervous. I can't imagine what Jordan Bowers is feeling.
9-9-2-5 for Audrey Davis. You know what that means. It means the Sooners are back on the top of the mountain. Wow.
Emma Malabuyo obviously having no idea that this is going on. So she's feeling a lot of pressure because she knows going into this routine how close it is between these two teams.
And Jordan Bowers, I don't know if she knows either. You can see the look on her face. That look is lion mode. She is in the hunt. This is what she is built for.
And Jordan Bowers, watch the extension all the way from her shoulders to her toes. Held that handstand for a second, like she's up against the wall. Her form is exquisite on this event. Jordan has gotten a 10 on this event so many times, and by the way she's doing this routine, we may see one tonight.
Emma finishing the best that she possibly could. That was rock star status beam routine.
Emma Malabuyo, left hand of your screen for her. It started at age 3 with backflips on her parents' bed. They went through an Olympic Games, and it led to that routine right there to finish what was an incredible gymnastics career. Congratulations to her. Right hand of your screen, Jordan Bowers takes her bow as well, but for her and the Sooners, it'll be a national championship.
Watch the handstand right on top of the bar. Textbook. Every coach dreams of their athlete doing a handstand like that. And the knees and toes pointed throughout the entire time. Just that slight step on the landing. What a phenomenal career Jordan Bowers has had.
But they put in the work on vault. They put in the work on the other events to earn the right on bars, to not have to stick all of those pressure-filled dismounts.
So over on floor exercise to finish up here, a little subplot, obviously the number one spot, the focus of this competition, but Missouri has battled along, and you know what? A 9.9375 will move Missouri into the 3rd spot ahead of Utah.
Well, regardless of how Missouri finishes, Missouri gymnastics has the highest finish of any women's sports at Missouri. So they're really making history in a lot of ways this weekend. Last floor team for Jocelyn Moore in her incredible career. Dancing right out of it. Her swagger, her attitude, the confidence is what coaches say has elevated this program. Her and Amari Celestine have done an incredible job.
Congratulations to Shannon Welker and what he's done at Missouri. Tremendous. But right now, the moment belongs to Oklahoma. Last year, they had the greatest regular season in the history of women's gymnastics. But 366 days ago today, they had what I called a cataclysmic meltdown. And they have had to live with it every day as they made the journey to this moment. KJ Kindler knew they were going to have to bear that burden. And right now, the road to redemption for the Sooners is complete. They are the champions.
It wasn't a perfect season for Oklahoma, and I actually think that became a strength of theirs in the postseason. They knew how to adjust when it wasn't perfect. And look at them now. They fought to the end. They stuck vaults when no one else could. And now they're holding the trophy.
And I tell you what, you guys, they said they had to look at it every Friday night. They had to hear it. They had to hear us talk about it. But because of all of that, this moment is sweeter than maybe any of the other ones they have ever won.